Ford CEO Jim Farley is literally about to destroy these trucks and SUVs, and the market will never be the same. We know Ford brags up they've got a lot of sales. Obviously, the bread and butter is selling their F-Series pickup trucks, the F-150s. We've got a whole variety from Tremors, XL, XLTs, as well as Platinums. Let's take a look at some of these prices, but they are in fact selling well. They were only outdone by the likes of GM as Chevy in this last quarter, but otherwise Ford continually sells these F-150s at an alarming pace. Here, let's take a look. We have a Platinum Ford F-150. This is the FX4 off-road right there. They have these beautiful glossy wheels, rear slider on there. It's a very slick looking truck, beautiful mirrors. They fold away nicely. This is the F-150 Platinum as we see right here. A lot of little accents on top. Of course, we got the new glossy grille with the new logo on there. It's a beautiful unit. But how much is a Platinum going for? And can people generally afford these? With all the technology, sunroofs, of course they've got heated ventilated seats in there, and the big infotainment system inside. Here we have a beautiful F-150. This one is the Platinum. This one does come with the 10-speed automatic 3.5 liter power boost full hybrid system, and this truck comes at an alarming rate. Now, while there's a whole host of options in here, I have to say I don't see the dog walking feature, I don't see the grass cutting feature, but it has the power tailgate, and this vehicle actually stickers for $107,405. Ouch, how are they possibly selling these trucks?
Now, in a desperate attempt to stoke demand, Ford slashed prices.
And how about something a little more garden variety here? We have an XLT. This is a little more equivalent to GM's. I did the GM video yesterday, probably to an Elevation with a 5.3. But here is a Ford F-150, and we'll see it's a XLT. Has more plastic parts on it like this. They do offer you the revised front look, although the grille is much simpler. You don't get the Platinum designs. Of course, everything's a lot trimmed down. You get smaller wheels. You do get running boards here, which is nice, and painted handles, but you don't even get a spray and box liner. Although you do get extra accessories like that, you'll notice, and many tie-down hooks, which are handy, and you even get a rear slider. So very much middle of the road, a lot like the Elevation by GM, and even more so like a Sport with Stellantis and the Ram products. But how much is this vehicle in fact? I mean, it's a fairly middling vehicle, something that your garden variety everyday person like myself, Lunchbox Joe, might actually be inclined to buy. Let's take a quick look over here. There's a window sticker, and we have a F-150. This does get the 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost, and pretty standard. You get the 10-speed auto, no hybrid here. However, $76,845. And I've looked up and down this row, and there's trucks upon trucks and trucks and more trucks. And we know during the pandemic what was going on. You couldn't get a base truck. What about an XL F-150 base model? You cannot find them here. I'm looking everywhere, and I literally cannot find a base F-150, just something half-ton to get me around. There's nothing here because they don't see the profit margins in that. That's why these OEMs keep selling trucks with the higher trim levels. That's why they're going to maximize their profits. But that's not the problem. More bread and butter for Ford. The smaller Bronco Sports, which is essentially a platform on the Escape, which is another one of their popular selling models. Of course, they came out with the full-size Broncos as well, which came out with the V6 engines. Very popular initially, but the sales are quite strongly down. I mean, here's a beautiful unit. What do we actually have here? Whoa, this thing is absolutely aggressive. We're talking about a Raptor, obviously a Bronco Raptor, beautiful. Big flares on this. I definitely love the looks of it. Powerful grille. You get the larger wheels on here as well. Look at that nice finish on that step guard there so you don't slip. You get this beautiful hard top. Looks very rugged, robust. Definitely looks, I don't know, you get this military grade looking wheel here. I love it. Everything just pops. Tow hooks everywhere. And of course, love that look. How much are these vehicles? Well, in fact, the Bronco Raptor is stickering for $122,000. 122 grand. Out the door, you're 135,000. By the time you put tax, luxury tax, all of that in Canada, GST, PST, you're probably going to pay $140,000 for a Bronco Raptor. But not everybody had that $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 for a full-size truck. So then Ford came out with this, which is a very popular new add-on. We're dealing with, here's an XLT. Obviously, we're dealing with the Ford Maverick here, a very popular little truck. And you're seeing more and more of these on the streets because you could get these into the $30,000 range. But generally, XLT, you can actually price these up quite substantially as well. Yeah, you get some nice shiny mirrors on the XLT. Basic looking handles, no sunroof on there. You get the little infotainment system in there as well. Lots of plastic, no slider on this unit. But look, you do get a spray-in liner, or essentially a plastic liner in here, which gives you all the capability to haul some of the small loads. Maybe need a load of dirt from Home Depot or something. But even this truck here is $44,000 as equipped in this Maverick XLT. And this comes with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission. And the Ford Maverick was one of those gap fillers for people that couldn't afford all the pricier vehicles. Obviously, the cost of living crisis is hitting everybody. People, instead of maybe once were buying full-size trucks like that, are now looking at smaller vehicles like Escapes, maybe the Mavericks, smaller vehicles all the way around, because they don't necessarily have the money. I know I don't have the money to ante up for a nice platinum pickup truck. Honestly, even an XLT is outside of my range right now. And for a lot of people, when we're just worried about paying rent, eating food, and just getting by day to day, never mind getting little Johnny to school as well as soccer practice, that all costs money too. So buying a $90,000 SUV like this, that's more fun than an actual versatility, just doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people. But we know, looking back in 2023, Ford realized that their wins and their losses. And we also realized that the F-150, the F-Series light-duty trucks are some of the best sellers, and that's where a big part of their profits came from. We also noticed that the electric market, the F-150 Lightning, was not selling it until it was heavily incentivized. The Mustang Mach-E as well, not selling until it was heavily incentivized, and they're constantly battling for market share with Tesla and the Model Y, but neither of which are doing exceptionally well. And just like GM in yesterday's video, have realized that the electric space isn't necessarily what it's all chalked up to be, and going full all in before 2025 looks like one of the biggest financial disasters that Ford could ever realize.
And the CEO just shut down EV production, sending a brutal warning to the entire auto industry.
Because Ford's E division last year lost about $4.7 billion, and they were literally giving money away due to research, development, and production costs on the sale of each and every one of their electric vehicles. Lightning, as well as, of course, the Mustang Mach-E, they were all some of the biggest losers, and they could not sell enough to try to cut their loss. And as a result, they kiboshed the $1.3 billion investment that they were planning in Canada for an EV manufacturing facility. But instead, one of their biggest profit margin areas is full-size trucks like this, the heavy-duty trucks, the super-duty trucks like this. Yes, we have a Lariat F250, obviously big beefy trucks. Most of these come with diesel engines, although you can get the fleet versions with some of the bigger V8 engines. But here we have an FX4 off-road, big beefy everything. Everything's made heavy duty, stepping gear, heavy duty towing. Of course, you get lots of heavy parts, spray and box liners, heavy duty wheel and tire packages, running boards because these vehicles are particularly high. And so Ford's Pro division, inclusive of some of the super duty trucks like this, as well as this beautiful rig right here. And we have another F250. This one's a platinum. This is going to not be cheap because we have the 6.7 liter Power Stroke turbo diesel. Everything is large and in charge. You get the chrome detail, sunroof, you get all of the extras. This one doesn't come in a spray liner, but look at the chrome exhaust tips on here, stepping gear. This is absolutely nice. You get the platinum decal or chrome detail on the back here, 4x4. Obviously, it has everything you could possibly imagine. Look right there. You even get leather, heated, cooled seats, the big infotainment system. This is absolutely gorgeous pickup truck. Well, these large trucks like this, fully decked out, obviously we know what the half-ton platinums are worth. We've seen it at $106,000, $107,000 Canadian. This one here, the Super Duty, comes with the 10-speed automatic transmission, turbo diesel, a whole pile of options, dual mirrors, leather wrapped sunroof, steering wheel. I mean, the whole list goes on and on and on. But this comes at a whopping $120, almost $1,000, 121 grand. But a lot of people put these to work and they can make money for you. And that's the key. Other vehicles in the Pro division are vehicles like this, the Ford Transit. As we see right here, they're minimal options. This is basically pure work vehicle, $82,000 right there. And all recent sales of some massive amounts of commercial vehicles ready to go to the new customers. But when we look at the car lot, we have a whole pile of new fleet vehicles here, a whole new pile along this row, some more along in here. And you'll see more getting ready to go out to the customer here. and a few more along this side. So clearly Ford's not having any trouble selling their commercial products. So Farley also had plans to expand on the F250, F350, create a full-size heavy-duty pickup truck that was pure electric. They also plan to produce a pure electric 3-row SUV. Both are on hold. They're even saying the full-size Super Duty pickup trucks are likely never going to make the radar in terms of full electrification, but that 3rd-row SUV may not make it until the market until at least 2027. So clearly the writing's on the wall. They're pushing all these products back and they're reinvesting in some of their best sellers like the commercial division and their full-size heavy-duty pickup trucks and vans. Ford CEO openly admitted that the Ford Super Duty electric vehicles were never going to make money, and it was clearly a losing proposition. But that could be good and bad. Are some of these savings going to be passed down to the consumer like you and I so we can finally afford a truck? Because we all know that the cost of research and development of all of these electric vehicles are coming out of the hide of the sales of their internal combustion vehicles, like their F-Series, their vans, even the smaller hybrid vehicles too are a vehicle that's more palatable and certainly not as costly to build or manufacture. So as they continue to push products with a lower production costs overall and more success, hopefully we're going to start see some of the competitiveness in the market where we can finally capitalize on a more cost-effective full-size pickup truck. This could be more further news as they further develop and enhance the full-size Super Duty trucks. Then you get trucks like this that you see rolling down the road, humming along, jacked up, lifted with a 24-inch lift. It's all very fun and inspiring, but those are the very vehicles that Ford plans to expand on. As a matter of fact, that electric vehicle manufacturing facility in Oakville, Ontario is being squashed that was producing EVs. Now, due to all the success in the commercial division, Ford alleges to reinvest $3 billion back into further development and manufacturing facilities to increase the output another 100,000 units per year of the Super Duties, the Transit vans, and everything else commercial in the Ford Pro division. $2.3 billion going to Canada and Oakville, and the other remaining $1 billion to go to existing facilities down in the United States. So this knee-jerk response from Ford clearly is good in many ways. Maybe it brings more cost-effective ICE vehicles back to the market. Maybe it also offers the 1,800 jobs that they're promising for manufacturing workers over in Oakville, because we all know Ontario is a little light on work right now and the cost of living is so high that it doesn't hurt to have high-paying quality jobs, at least for the next few years. And this could be literally what it takes to get a lot of people back on track, almost 2,000 people. So while Ford continues on the sales of their current portfolio with the Mustang Mach-E, the F-150 Lightning, clearly there are still buyers for that, and you can't ignore the inevitable, which is the transformation and transition in the future for potential alternative energy sources. But the fact remains is Ford is realizing that it's their blue oval vehicles like these F-150s, as well as their commercial vehicles as we see in the Super Duties, as well as their vans, are the vehicles in fact that are selling with the biggest margins, creating the capital for the organization. And according to Ford, it's just what the doctor ordered. But this doesn't just begin and end here. This whole electrified market clearly isn't taking off like it once did. Definitely check out yesterday's video where I talk about what's going on at GM. They've also made a little bit of a retraction and corrected their course because they also realize that the profits just aren't there. Hope to see each and every one in the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.